Older adult interview. For this assignment, I just interviewed my grandpa. He's 77 years old. He grew up in Idaho, but he lives in Utah now. He went to BYU, worked on a steel plant for most of his career. He has 5 biological children, including my dad, and I am his oldest biological grandchild. And I thought it would be interesting to interview him because he's an interesting guy. He's very sarcastic, very interesting. So for one of the questions, it was, what have you done to weather difficult times? And honestly, my grandpa had a pretty optimistic outlook, just go with it, like, that's life. You just have to kind of accept it and go with it. But, like, he mentioned how grateful he was that he had been very lucky in his life not to have gone through, like, anything that was too difficult or too hard. And it's just, be smart, things can be tough, but just kind of go with it. And I asked him about whether, he considers himself old, and at what age did you notice yourself getting older? And he talked about how his health started to get worse after 70, and he noticed this when he couldn't do the things that he normally would do. Like, there was this big tree that he used to trim the branches off and get up there and just, and prune it. And he said he would, practically, get up into the tree, that he was, swinging from it almost. And that was just a few years ago, and he noticed that he can't do that anymore, and how he's noticed that time has just sort of sped up as he's gotten older, and things just have gotten harder, things that have been simple before. And I thought it was interesting that the most important historical event or period that he thought he had lived through was COVID, actually. He was born during World War II, and he remembered 9/11, I remember all these big events, but the thing that he remembers having the most impact on his daily life was COVID-19. So interesting to think that we're living through this very interesting historical time period that's very unique. Next question that I thought was interesting: have you ever experienced any negative attitudes or discrimination because of your age? And he actually thought that he hadn't. He thought that it was more of the opposite, that people respected him more because he was older. And he talked about one time he had to use a cane, and everyone was helping him and doing things for him, and he felt like they were so much nicer to him because he was older and because he was disabled. And so I feel like the key takeaways for me is, perspective is everything. Have gratitude. My grandpa was very grateful for the things that he had, and that he hadn't had very many major health problems, which just goes to show you that health, wellness, and aging can vary drastically from person to person. I work in a nursing home, and there are people there who definitely are not as lucky to have their health, and it's very different from person to person. And aging includes adapting to a way of life that's unfamiliar to a person. They might have been able to do all of these things and are used to doing these things on their own, but then all of a sudden they can't do the things that they used to. And I also thought, interesting that COVID-19 is a truly monumental historical event that most of us will never live through anything like this again. And also, I thought my grandpa has a very personal vendetta against stairs. He mentioned that several times. He's like, it's just the stairs. The stairs are so hard. And so, yeah, I thought that was interesting to just learn more about what it's like to be older and what your outlook is on life and the things that come with aging. And that's it. Thank you.